It is Rondo time, where we put these two under pressure with some quick fire questions.
Hold on, before we're going for that, who's putting a name to these questions? Are these your questions?
No, I'll say someone else.
So you're disowning these questions.
Yeah,
so if they're stupid questions, it's not down to you.
We're going to there to take the.
So they're kind of quick fire. They are a bit different. Okay. Well, let's call them different. You call them a name. I'll go different. We'll see how we get on. You have a legal background, Martin. Which of your former players would star in your first crime novel if you were to write one?
If I was to the first to write?
If you were to write a crime novel, any of your former players you think would be
in it?
Yeah. They can be the good guys or the bad guys.
Oh, no, I'll give that to Sutton, you know.
Good guy, bad guy?
Oh, bad guy. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a quick answer as well. Yeah, it was quick.
I feel there's more to that. Yeah. Best Old Firm goal you've ever seen?
Best Old Firm goal I've ever seen? Maybe Henrik's goal in the 6-2 game. Sutton flicks it on to him and he chips. Yeah, okay. Brilliant.
Would Graeme Souness get in your treble-winning side?
Graeme Souness getting the treble-winning side?
I mean, not now, but...
In fairness, I shouldn't really say this, but Souness would get in just about everybody's World 11, you know?
Fair enough. Stage, a derby win at home...
Thank you very much for that.
You've got to say that, it's sat right next to you.
Derby
that's the last time personally, I don't actually like him, but it doesn't really matter. But I'm talking about his ability as a player.
A derby win at home or away? Would you prefer?
A derby win at home or away?
Yeah. So Celtic Park or Ibrox?
Well, that's a very good question. I must admit, winning at Ibrox is fantastic.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. And the biggest name in your phone book?
Biggest name in my phone book?
The biggest celeb. Who's the biggest? That's going to be Graeme again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Graeme going to be two of his answers?
A biggest name? Seriously, I'm genuinely, and this is, I'll be serious for a second, I'm not wildly into that. So only because nobody does.
Before we came on, you did tell us you played golf with Rory McIlroy.
But playing golf with Rory McIlroy and having Rory McIlroy's number is a totally different thing.
I think that's even better.
And I don't even check. I don't mean it. I'm not honestly. I'm not in any coterie of little friends, or I've never been one of those. I don't know whether Graeme was the same as me, but I was never into a coterie of managers. Never phoned a manager up. Because why would you? Because
this is the new president of the LMA in England, by the way. You will be now.
Yeah, I am. Which I'm trying to find out what that means as such. A League Managers Association chairman of the. It's
not president. Just the chairman.
It's just the chairman.
Oh, just the chairman.
Just the chairman. Right. And anyway, so sorry, what was the question?
Biggest
again?
name in the phone book it was. There's got to be
biggest name. Do you know what I'll do? I know I'd be wildly sycophantic and say him.
So fine. Okay. Don't mind us.
I like that. So Graeme, for you then as well, we got 5 quick fire questions. So would you rather have a morning coffee with Jim White or lunch with Simon Jordan?
Oh, neither.
Yeah. Fair enough. Move on to the next one. Old Firm win as a manager or a player? What do you prefer?
See, when you're a player, and that's easily the best job, I'm sure you would agree. You know, you just feel you just look after yourself, and if you're having a good day, you try and help your teammates. As a manager, you feel so responsible. So winning an Old Firm as a manager.
Okay. Same question that Martin had. Best Old Firm goal you've ever seen?
Well, I'm going to talk about when I was involved, and it'd be Ray Wilkins' volley at the Celtic end.
Yeah. Nice. Who would you want in your team, McCoist or Larson?
Oh, dear. Well, I've already said. I think Larson was world class. I guess in any team.
Yeah.
When he was at Celtic Park, so I'd have to go with
Henrik Larsson. And same question again. Biggest name in your phone book?
Biggest name. Honestly, I don't court.
This is the problem. We didn't see this coming. We've now got two guests that they are the biggest name in their own people's phone books.
Yeah,
no, it's not true.
You're our first European Cup winners as well on the show. So you're
the baddest.
Anyone? Yeah.
Which Sir Alex Ferguson's number? We talked about. He'd been a great player and actually a very good manager. But Alex Ferguson's record has been up there. Sure. Yeah. So I'll honestly, if Graeme gets second booking behind that there, then
and look at that. I think we've finished on a note where they've agreed on something.
We're falling out all the time.
No, that's what I mean. You've agreed on something at the end, and
I think because something I've always felt that one of the best people I've worked in punditry with is Neil Lennon.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
without a shadow of a doubt. And let me tell you,
Mm.
we were two peas, or are two peas at the same pod. And I think this is how it's transpired for him. He's learned his trade of him. He learned most of his trade of Brian Clough. Brian Clough and Bob Paisley, they would have been two peas at the same pod. So their views have been
Like
transmitted
aligned.
through generations. And that's why I felt working with Neil Lennon was as good as it got for me in punditry. And I think we both see football the same. So we're not going to fall out over much.
Certainly not over who's the biggest name in the phone book.
Right then, so first question, interesting one. Best ground you've refereed in?
Best ground I've refereed in, Wembley.
Wembley. What was
New Wembley.
What was the game?
England against Republic Island for the 150th anniversary of the FA, 2013.
Oh, okay.
It's great.
Nice. I like that. Yeah.
Great.
Who's the best William? Will.i.am or Billy Idol?
Did you write these?
We don't write these questions, let me just.
Well, I am.
Will.i.am over Billy Idol. Okay, nice. I like that. Who's your biggest name booking in your whole career?
Biggest name booking.
Must be one.
Ronaldo.
When did you book Ronaldo?
That sounds fine to me. That sounds perfect.
That's good. Yeah, of course.
In Lisbon, Real Madrid.
Oh,
Real
okay.
Madrid. He was back in Lisbon for the first time.
What was he booked for?
Diving,
Don't
surely.
remember. Don't even remember.
Whipping his shirt off
Maybe
scoring?
Descent.
Yeah, it would have
Shut
been
off
probably.
after scoring's a good shout.
Yeah,
Could have been that.
could have been.
We'll look that up. Okay.
Yeah, he's got obviously decent rig. He could get that out. Get the shirt off. Classroom of pupils or a classroom of referees? What's more frightening?
Classroom of pupils. No
Has to
question
be.
about it.
Didn't
Speaking from
hesitate.
experience.
No, I just knew straight away.
Especially if my kids are in the class.
What was the crossover in terms of refereeing feedback when you went back to school on a Monday?
It was tough.
Was it?
Aye. But they eventually supported me. They had
You
a
took
lot
them
of sympathy.
years.
They had a
Felt
lot
sorry
of
for them.
sympathy. They felt sorry for me. I was a teacher, they felt sorry
Did
for
they
me.
praise you?
It was great because I had no hassle in any of my classes because the kids loved talking about football. We never get any teaching done, but it was teaching and learning, but it was great.
I like that. Are you running your own Twitter parody account?
Absolutely not. I would really like to find out who is running it, but it's not me.
That was a knowing smile. He's clearly aware of it. We weren't sure. So
I've not looked at it for a long time.
someone out there-
The guys used to show me it when we were on European trips. They would show me that in European
you
trips. The
seen
guys
it?
would say, "There you go."
there is a parody account, and it's sorry.
To be fair, I'd only heard of it.
Oh, did you
today
only
when
heard
we
of
talk-
it recently?
yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's been on the go for years.
Yeah.
It's funny, like someone pretending to be and just sort of saying like, I'll do what I want. I'll shoot. I wish I had examples, but it's funny. You should look at, we'll get some pictures of it.
Look at it.
And then just final question, mate. Nelson's column or Willie Collum?
Willie Collum.
Of course it has to.
Has to be.
It's got to be. It's got to
Right,
be.
you ready? A week's holiday with Chris Sutton or a night out with James McFadden?
Night out with James McFadden.
Spoken from experience.
Over with a few.
Winning a trophy for Rangers or securing safety for Kelly?
Winning a trophy. Always.
Turkish hair or Turkish football?
Well, I've only got one of them.
Many appearances in Turkey?
Zero. No,
There's a couple.
no, it was a couple. Pound for pound, it must be the worst transfer in world football.
But Turkish hair then?
No, it's just move from the back to the front. It's fine. I might get some of yours.
Biggest name, and mine needs a trim to be fair. I was worried about that this morning. Biggest name in your phone book?
Got to say Gordon Duncan.
Oh, come on, behave. You must have some proper. You got a big hit, any big hitters in there? You got Beckham stripped to be fair,
got
but
Beckham,
no
never
his
got his
phone
number.
number. You and Chris Sutton on texting terms.
Yeah, when he needs a lift.
So is that like, there's the pantomime element because you two are pals, aren't you? You know
No.
people. Yeah,
No, let's
come on.
no.
You must be.
He does my head in.
But you share lifts with him then to games
Because
to save the planet.
yes, that's Sky
Sky have got a
Sports'
very strict green
Yeah.
policy. Cupcake or protein shake?
I used to be a protein shake guy, but it's cupcake
We
now.
have to. Come on,
Yeah.
let's take a look at it. Come on. You've seen it a million times over the years. Let's do it.
On the soccer field, I'm lucky enough to get the occasional thing for free, like a free kick, for example. When it comes to scoring quality mattresses for as close as free as I'm going to get, I want Park Lane mattresses on my team. Locally made mattresses with great prices all the time, right here in Portland, which means I don't have to miss weight looking for a good night's sleep. Plus, I get what I'm looking for an unbeatable price. It's like having my cake and eating it too, except I'm actually more of a protein shake guy.
Park Lane Mattresses. Great prices every day. For locations, visit parklanemattresses.com.
Have you seen that, Willie?
Never.
You've never seen that before?
Amazing.
never.
It wasn't even me that done it.
Was there someone there who just made sure that you
Honestly,
didn't speak
so it was
as
something
Scottish
like
as...
this. It was something like this, and it must have took about 3 days to do. Took ages. But you're all laughing. You ever bought a mattress?
Yeah,
They're
expensive.
expensive. I didn't need to buy one.
Free mattresses. I like that.
There's a method to the
You
madness.
transport them back to the farm.
No,
when you
they
moved
just
home.
get sold out there.
I do like that, I have to say.
But did they ask you to tone down the Scottish accent just so that the
It
Americans
was
could?
so bad. Like, I must have recorded it. I don't know. It was. I actually got to the stage, right, okay, say this and then just stop. Then say this and then just stop.
Okay, right, let's go for it. Do you want to help me a little bit with this first one?
See, Sam's
We don't write these questions as
incredible
well,
Scottish football knowledge, but from a certain time onwards, because he's a young man and he's come up here.
I've not been here
The
that long.
question says, Stainrod fedora or Jim Jeffries hairdryer?
Which one would you prefer, I guess? Which one did you like the most?
I actually, believe it or not, played under Simon Stainrod, made my debut under him. He loved himself.
Right.
To say that is not an exaggeration. A fantastic player, but I'm going to say Jim Jeffries hairdryer.
Right, okay.
I actually was one of those players that loved a wee bit of the aggressive
Got you
nature
going.
to get your finger out sort of thing.
Nice. What happened to your Coca-Cola bike? You must remember this.
I had it for years and I eventually gave it back to Hearts to auction off for any funds that were made would go into the youth foundation.
So the backstory, you won the bicycle for
There's a
getting man of the
picture
match. You
going
wouldn't
about
get that.
Coca-Cola
I looked
Cup, man
very
of the
unhappy.
match.
Yeah.
What was the best goal of your career?
Oof. That's a tough one. The most memorable one is, sorry Lambo, it's my second at Celtic Park to win the league.
Is that the one you went round goal? Was it goal?
Round
there?
big Stuart Kerr.
Was it Stuart? Was it?
Aye.
Stuart.
And fast putting the brakes on because my momentum was taking me towards a few
Celtic
Celtic
fans.
fans that were coming into the photographers' moat, dropping in there, thankfully.
We've
Not against Wraith for Dundee.
Wraith, no?
That was the right foot one.
I like that one.
I scored a right foot, which isn't a collector's item, but that was a good one.
And obviously Halloween this week. You must have had a few Halloween nights out. What's your best ever Halloween costume?
What's a question that is?
Is there any you remember?
No, there's none that
There's
I can
none?
remember, no.
Not a fancy dress, man.
No, I knows like this, some people might say I'm due a mask. But no, I don't remember
I wouldn't
ever
know.
dressing up, to be honest.
Halloween party.
Not much of a dresser up.
I'm surprised we didn't get some Halloween sort of costumes
Accessories.
for today, yeah. And out of your career, out of all the trophies you won, which one meant the most?
Can I split that up? I'm going to say my first league title, which again was that one at Celtic Park, and lucky enough to win 5 Scottish Cups, and my favourite. And it goes a long way because I won 2 Old Firm ones. The Lovencrans one in 2002 was special, but my first one with Hearts, 1998, goes a long way.
It's going to be special winning a trophy with
Well,
Hearts,
40 odd years, I think, or 36 years, 40 years since winning a trophy, Scottish Cup. And then the open top bus, which Lambo will back up here. Being a Celtic or Rangers player, you can't do an open top bus in Glasgow. There's a lot of fine marksmen apparently going about Glasgow. That we're not allowed to do that. To experience that on Sunday was something that I'll never ever forget.
Is it actually, you can't do an open top bus in Glasgow? Is it just too dangerous to do one in Glasgow?
Let's not open that can of worms.
No, okay, yeah, move on. Move on.
there.
We can cut that out.
Right, Paul Lambert, Rondo. Old Firm Derby or Old Farm Derby?
Old Firm. Old Firm, Ipswich, Norwich. Oh, that's a walk in the park. That's a friendly. That's a friendly.
The Ipswich fans, the tractor boys.
The Old Firm. The Old Firm.
All day.
All day
It's
long.
got to be.
Biggest coaching influence?
Pooh. If I went back to my youth, I would say there's two. Without Alec Muller and Drew Jarvie and Martin Ferguson, I wouldn't have had the career I had. Alex Smith enhanced it. But the most professional, I would say, Otmar Hitzfeld.
Just different level of detail, all that sort of stuff.
So clever, calm, and won 2 European titles with Dortmund and Bayern. There's no many that do it. So Otmar was professionally, but getting into good habits was Alec Muller and Martin and Drew.
What was tougher, Rivaldo in the World Cup or Zidane in the Champions League final?
That's a bloody good question. That.
Not a bad pair to choose.
No, but I'll tell you the one with Rivaldo. Rivaldo was all left foot. Never really used his right. He was all left foot, but I'm never forgetting the World Cup. Did you go to the World Cup, Baz?
No, I was on standby.
And Craig told me, God rest him, the night before, he said, I need you to man mark Rivaldo. I went, okay. So I knew he was all left foot. And we were doing really well, Scotland, Brazil, we were doing really well, and he's got me in a half turn. So as soon as I went, that when somebody gets you in a half turn, you go one way, and as soon as you go that way, he flicks it to the other side. So he had that, and he shot for about 30, listen, it must have been about 40 yards he shot. And Big Jim Leighton's made a brilliant save. And Big Jim Leighton's done the old goalkeeper one.
Shouting at you?
I shouted him, he said, shut him down. I went, fucking shut him down. He's fucking one of the best players in the world. So Rivaldo had me in that time. But the best all round, without a doubt, was Zidane, all day long.
Best central midfielder you played with?
Cool. Bloody hell. I love playing with Lenny. Love playing with Lenny because it was that easy. Sosa was, oh dear, what a tough one. For offensive stuff, Andy Miller. Andy Miller was I've never seen anything like that. The speed, one touch, two touch, he had everything, Andy. Lenny was great to play with because he could bounce off each other. But if I could give it to Andy, that was my job, and then he done the rest. So Miller was proper.
Good, we're dropping some big names here. I like this. And finally, the best dressing room rant from a manager. Or what manager was the biggest ranter then that you played under?
Was Hitzfeld much of a ranter?
No, never broke sweat. Martin never. Everybody talks about Martin and Neil, but there wasn't many. Martin had one rant. Don't know, but I've seen some brilliant fights. I know that.
Is it between manager and player, or player and player?
Who's the best one of them then? We can change the question, no bother.
Assistant and player. I was 17 at the time, and I was playing in the Winners' Cup with St Mirren. And I was built like a jockey's whip at that time, you know. And St Mirren were playing, who we played? I think it was Tromsø in the Winners' Cup. And Alex Smith took myself and, God rest him, Frank McGarvey off. And Frank was brilliant, the young kids, he was brilliant. What a player he was. McGarvey got his body into positions that Stretch Armstrong couldn't do it. And Frank got taken off of me in 20 minutes to go. We're winning 2-0. I think we were winning 2-0. And so Alex Smith took us off, and Frank came in. Couldn't believe he was taken off, and I'm sitting there just like a young kid, and next thing the dressing room door busts open, and it's Jimmy Bone comes in. And then just throws a right hander that Tyson would have been proud of, and I'm sitting, what the? That fight went on for about 15 minutes, and I'm still watching it, and I couldn't move in the dressing room. I'm sitting in the dressing room watching this fight. Two big guys knocking lumps at each other, and I went, this can't be normal, this is 17, this is no normal. And just at that, the fight went from the dressing room door at Love Street, when I could get out to get some help. And there was two groundsmen at St Mirren at the time. I said, listen, there's a fight in there, like, can you break it up? So they've went from there to there, the fight, you know, so it's a proper fight. This is brilliant viewing this. And it gets split up.
It's one of the old westerns where they're getting through the doors and stuff.
Honestly, but the great thing was that when it gets split up, Frank said to me, give me a bit of paper. So I've got Frank, I'm only a young boy. McGarvey's a big star at that time, you know. Frank says, give that to the manager after the game. So I gave the manager, I said, when Alex Smith was the manager, I said, Frank's told me to give you that. And it was a transfer request. And they came in the next morning, and you go home at 17, your mum and dad say, how was the game, son? All right? I went, aye, anything happened? Nah, we won 2-0. Don't tell my mum and dad anything. So I was in the morning, and Jimmy comes in, he said, the manager's going to pull you. And I went, all right, okay. He said, just tell me the truth, what happened? And sure enough, Alec pulls me up the stairs, and he said, tell me what happened. He went, who threw the first punch? And I went, well, absolutely bottling it here, you know. And I went, well, Jimmy threw it. I said, that's what happened. He went, okay. And Alec and Jimmy were really tight at that time. And Jimmy got let go at that point, and he pulled me into the boot room, and he says, well done for telling the truth. He said, it'll stand you in good stead. And that gave me a great upbringing.
Wow.
Aye, brilliant. It was brilliant. And Jimmy was brilliant with me at that time, but I think he realised I was only 17 at the time, to see that full-blown fight that actually happened. That was the best, that's been the best, without a doubt, the best fight I've encountered in a dressing room. So I never really had a dressing room where a manager, the odd time, would have a right wee go. But fight-wise, nah, without a doubt, that was the best fight I've seen.
Lee Miller, I will ask 5 to you. Sam will ask to Charlie.
Terrible asking him.
Who is your most famous client ever? Who's the most famous person's hair that you've cut?
Gordon Duncan.
Oh, just,
We knew he'd say that.
don't say
It's
that.
always
Present
gonna be
company.
that.
That can't be true.
It's always going to be
It
that.
cannot be true.
He's the
There
busiest
must
man
be
in Scottish
somebody.
football, isn't he? He's everywhere. He's everywhere.
Most talked about it's Lennon.
But that's his own son.
Can't
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Who would be your dream strike partner from this season? Players in the league this season.
It's got to be Kyogo. He would do all my running.
You like his movement?
His movement's ridiculous.
Be
Absolutely
flicking the ball
ridiculous.
in.
Oh,
Hit anywhere he'd catch it.
he would gamble on every flick on that I produced. So yeah.
Oh, this will be good. What's better, Lennon Miller from halfway for the Scotland youth team against England, or Lee Miller's volley against Kilmarnock?
It was a good goal, a Kilmarnock goal for me, but in terms of Lennon's debut for Scotland down at St George's was special, and I nearly missed it as well. So no, I would go Lennon's
Do
goal.
you mean late for the game?
No, we're down. It was half time in the game, or there was 3 halves, and it was getting into the.
Can it be 3
third
halves? But I'll let you off with it.
3/3, sorry, apologies. And we were down taking the kids to the toilet, and we were on the way back up. They blew the whistle to get the team
Oh, and it was
into
from
formation. It was from kickoff, and then as soon as we got up, blew the whistle, and he's kicked it, and we're right behind the goals and seen it.
That
So we
is
nearly missed it.
Nearly. Oh, this is topical because we've been talking about music and it's Spotify Wrapped time of the year. If you're into that sort of thing, what's your most played song in the car or artist? We'd settle for either.
Artist, oh God, I'm miles off it. Charlie's on it with music. I'm miles off it with music. I'd probably say, I think, I don't even know. I just stick the radio.
Stick it on shuffle and let it run.
Stick it on shuffle and
Fair
see
right.
what happens.
Hope he listens to the
a bit
right
of
radio shows.
Usher, maybe a bit of
right.
bit of R&B, something like that. Yeah.
Played for a dozen clubs. What's the best initiation you've seen?
Probably couldn't say it on air. There's been a few good songs actually. Danny Cadamathry done a cracking version of Michael Jackson. So he did all head to toe, the big afro
That sounds
wig
like
on
taking it a bit
actually.
too
So
seriously.
no, I went full on.
Voice to
and the
match.
boys, so.
All right, so more of a showman.
Yeah,
Right,
showman
okay.
performance. Yeah.
Nice.
Right, Sam.
Right then. So, Charlie, what was the best goal in your career?
Ajax away for Celtic.
What's
It
this?
was in the European Cup. It was a little bit similar to Archie Gemmell's for Scotland against Holland. We needed to win to get through, and chipped the goalkeeper in the old Amsterdam Arena. So that was my favourite.
Yeah, was that in they played in the Olympic Stadium? I think. Did they?
Yes, they
Yeah,
did. They had
okay,
to go
nice.
to the older stadium at that time.
What an arena.
Iconic. Yeah. So obviously, look at us behind us today. We've got the Christmas tree up. What's your favourite Christmas movie?
This is huge. This could be the most important question you've asked all day.
Oh God, I like it.
Are you into your
Was
Christmas?
it 34th Street or
Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, and the only reason it's not particularly me it's picking that is because I had 2 daughters. Obviously, one's married, the other one gets married next March. But them and my wife put it on all the time, so
and
I had no
heartstrings.
choice in it. When I get to watch football, I've got to suffer and watch this Christmas
Fair
movie.
enough. Quickly.
Elf, probably.
Okay, modern.
I'll go Elf.
Modern.
Home Alone.
Good.
Standard.
Not bad. You're all wrong. It's A Wonderful Life. But anyway.
Okay, there we go. So you've worn some pretty iconic kits in your time. The Celtic 83, Arsenal 85, Aberdeen 89, Scotland 86. But which is your favourite kit you've ever worn?
Celtic kit. When you first play for Celtic and you get the original hoops on, and the material wasn't particularly the best material then, but it was sodden wet and they were really heavy. First time when you make your debut for the hoops, that's
So it's maybe
that's
less about the
iconic.
design of the kit and more about what it meant to you in that moment.
It's what it meant, and I think the hoops itself, the green and white, is such an iconic thing anyway. You know, so to get to wear that officially is great.
As a supporter as well, it must be special, yeah. What was your most daunting debut? Was it for Celtic, Arsenal, Aberdeen or Scotland?
It was for Scotland. Played with my hero, King Kenny, and we were out for the warm-up, and I was, again, trying to get a bit of help with Danny McGrain, and I kept calling him King. What about this? And would you want me to move? And things like that. And he was like, shut up. And I went, what? He said, shut up. I'm fed up with you calling me King. He said, when you get out there, you're the same player as me. You're equal to me. We all do things. Let's just play together and see how it goes. And he slapped me in the back of the head very, very slightly as we were going out and said, enjoy, this is your time. So I was both a nervous wreck about it. One of my favourite, not the favourite goal, but one of my best goals was in that game against Switzerland. But to have played with him and to be spoken like that by him, to give you a bit of credit, but at the same time put you in your place, was a nice way to do it.
Nice, okay. Which was the bigger buzz for you, being on the front cover of the NME or the back cover of the Daily Record?
Oh, front cover. Front cover of the NME. It's,
I suppose everyone's been the back cover of the Record, haven't they?
Well, yeah, I think I'd done that so often with all the different newspapers. You know, like the newspapers never really bothered me. I was never a great reader of newspapers. And I know a lot of players used to always say that, but I wasn't, because my father worked in the newspaper industry. All his mates worked in the newspaper industry. So whatever I was getting feedback from the public, from the people that I knew in Maryhill predominantly, was more important to me than any newspaper column or anything else.
Okay. And the final question that we ask everybody when they first come on, well, most people, I would say, what's the biggest name in your phone book?
I have to be careful that I don't get this wrong. It's King Kenny, because he's still my hero, and I still have that edge. I've got a couple of good... One of my great friends is Jim Kerr. I love Jim Kerr. I think he's stunning. I know they're coming back to Glasgow soon to start playing another couple of gigs. There's a lot of real good names on that, but undoubtedly the King, he hits it.
No one's, I don't think, ever said King Kenny, have they, before?
A new name, I'm always happy for that.
Nice, yeah, buzzing with that. Cool.